Hey everybody, I'm Carey Hart and I'm here to do the grip install with the new ODI Heartluck V-Twin Motocross Waffle Grip. So I saved you the time and the headache of watching me take the bars apart. I'm doing this grip install. This is a modified Indian Springfield. Now, I chose this bike so there's no fairing that's going to block your view. So if you're comfortable with working on your own motorcycle, this is a really simple process. You remove the clutch perch, front brake master cylinder, remove the covers, take the hardware off of the switches, slide the grips off. If you're not comfortable working on your own motorcycle, please take it to a local dealership. They can put these grips on for you in less than a half hour. Super, super simple. So I'm gonna start getting into this thing as of right now. So a couple key things that will just kind of save you a little bit of time. All right, so first step, very simply, the great thing about this locking system is there's no having to drill that cheesy little pilot hole into your handlebars. All your locking power is right here in the front. Now, once you remove the stock grip, traditionally on the Indian baggers, you have to open up this housing, and the little flange has to slide underneath here. The great part about these new grips is that goes away. So what I do is you don't even have to take this all the way off, just loosen them to where this kind of opens up a hair, and they just slide right on nice and sweet. Now the next step is going to be, obviously you want to make sure that you have space in here. So with these bolts either loosened or completely out, you can kind of feel where the perch kind of moves around a little bit. So I kind of slide this piece on here, and then with your cover, place your cover over the front so that you can kind of figure out your spacing and where you actually want your perch to be. So with the cover on, I slide it up as far as I can, pull it over a little bit, and it fills that gap. That way you're not having to put this thing on and on twice and make a bunch of marks on your handlebars. All right, so now once you get these rear bolts kind of tightened on, get these bolts to slide on in here, get that front cover on. And now at this point, what I like to do is just get these pieces just kind of started. So the housing's in place. Now, with these grips, it comes with the Torx to tighten the actual grips, so you don't need any extra tools for the grip assembly. And then just get these suckers nice and snug. You don't have to over tighten them, don't go crazy. All right, and now you see there is no slip with these grips. Now you can come back. As you see, I have no gap in there. And keep in mind, these grips are good for all of the Indian touring models. We're also have a slip-on grip, like a 1-inch slip-on grip, so you can replace your Scout grips. There's also going to be an offering for throttle by wire and cable, so you'll be covered on all platforms. And that's it. Now we're going to head over to the other side. All right, so now we've moved to the throttle side. So very, very similar to the clutch side. Remove the rear 2 bolts. So now the only difference from the throttle side to the clutch side is that with the throttle by wire, you have to open up the housing and the flange slides out. So with the new grip, again, now on this side, these are more for looks because the grip is held on by the switch housing. You kind of have to get the grip on. You spin it around until it falls into place. And then again, with the switch housing, the bars are drilled out, so there's a little hole in the back that the dowel has to fit into the bar. So you want to make sure that that's seated down in there. So what I typically do is just squeeze it together, make sure it's kind of moving around in there, and it's all good. So I get these two about hand tight. And then since you do have a little bit of movement, you want to look at you want to kind of line up your switches on the throttle side with the clutch side, so your bars aren't, your perches aren't all screwy and weird, because that will affect where your clutch perch and your front brake master cylinder goes. So these here look pretty level. Grab your socket or your ratchet. You don't want to really over tighten these, just kind of snug them down because these are pretty delicate in here. I like to put the back piece on first so you can get these little screw holes lined up. Slide the front cover on. Again, I like to start these by hand just to make sure everything's going in nice and smooth. And you're done. Check your throttle, make sure there's no drag for some reason. These things are smooth as butter. And you are set. All right, well that's a wrap. Grips are on, throttle's moving smooth, got the front brake back on, clutch perch back on, bike's ready to hit the road. So check out ODI or your Drag Specialties dealership, get a set of motocross grips on your V-twin bike, and have fun riding.